Hello and welcome to this presentation I'm calling The Healing Power of Ganoderma. Ganoderma is also known as reishi mushroom, and we're going to spend the next little bit of time learning a little bit about this natural wonder and this one of the treasures in the world. So hello, for those of you who don't know me, my name is Natalie. I am a pharmacist and also a functional medicine practitioner. I work out of Leamington, but I also work with people remotely all across Canada. And I love doing presentations. I love speaking to audiences and helping educate people about general health issues to really lay the foundation of our health to keep us healthy and transform our health in the future. So Ganoderma, what is it? Why is it? Why are we talking about it? Well, the cool thing about Ganoderma is based on history, we know it's been used by man for over 7,000 years. It was reserved for royalty in China, and it's been called the 10,000-year mushroom in some countries. In Korea, they also call it the mushroom of immortality. So it's been very, very revered by the emperors in that part of the world for a very long time, which is very, very interesting. So for more than 2,000 years of recorded history that we know, it has been reserved for royalty in such countries. It was called the miraculous king of herbs because of how powerful it was, but also as an allusion to it being reserved for royalty. And in some countries, it was actually a punishable offense. If you were not royalty and you were found to be having reishi or Ganoderma with you, it was actually punishable. They would actually cut your hand off if you were found with it. So it was really quite severe. And that's how prized it was. And it's found in ancient texts as well as modern texts about herbs. So it's been used a long time. Ganoderma, as I mentioned, one of the nicknames is the king of herbs. And one of the reasons it's so revered and it's so amazing is why there's so much research going into it is that it's one of the most alkaline foods in the entire world. Now, we're not going to say it is the most because we know there's 50,000 plant species and not everything has been tested, but from what we have tested so far, which is a very, very variety of plants, it's definitely one of the most alkaline foods in the world. So that makes our body in a more basic state, which is a more healthful, healing state for our body to be in. I've said Ganoderma. So what does Ganoderma mean? If you actually break the word down, Gano means bright or shiny, and derma means skin. So literally the name of the mushroom is bright, shiny skin. So with that being said, obviously it can be useful for certain skin conditions, making the skin glow, having the body be healthy from the inside out. Now, I'm a functional medicine practitioner, so I work with people with a lot of complicated health issues, a lot of long-standing health issues, and there's a couple common things that I see for people who are coming to me that aren't being managed well under their conventional care, and why the research is showing Ganoderma to be so exciting, and why we're finding it so helpful for so many people. So number one is Ganoderma reduces inflammation. So anytime you see here PMID, this stands for PubMed ID. So if you go to Google and Google PubMed, it will bring up a website where thousands and thousands and thousands of peer-reviewed medical literature articles are. And there'll be a bar there, and if you enter this number, it will pull up this study for you that gives you all of this information. Okay, so this study, PMID, Ganoderma reduces inflammation, and this study from May 2018 explains how Ganoderma reduces all of these, influences all of these inflammatory markers. So some things are increased because some of these interleukins you actually want to increase to combat inflammation. So from what we know, Ganoderma combats inflammation by at least 11 proven mechanisms. So it's very, very powerful. And people coming to me with chronic health conditions, for most people, inflammation is a huge factor in their daily symptoms and preventing optimal function in their body. So if we can incorporate something that reduces inflammation by so many different mechanisms, this is why I'm finding it very, very powerful. Even the most powerful prescription anti-inflammatory drugs usually at best work on two mechanisms. Another reason why I love using Ganoderma with people is that it enhances immune function. Between inflammation and autoimmune conditions, I really do believe that most chronic conditions that people are suffering from are autoimmune in nature, even if the current medical system isn't realizing this yet. Thyroid conditions, heart conditions, fibromyalgia, rheumatoid arthritis, plus the other known ones like Crohn's. These are all these are all autoimmune conditions. So Ganoderma has proven to help balance the immune system, which is fantastic. It is definitely proven anti-cancer from at least these type of cancers. And that's what only has been actively studied and studies released on it. So very, very powerful. And again, cancer is argued that it is really an immune imbalance because your immune system is not taking care of the cells it needs to get rid of. So if we're improving the immune function on a whole, we're going to influence cancer in the body. And then it's also proven to be anti-HEV, anti-herpes, anti-H1N1, which is a nasty, nasty flu, anti-HPV, which is huge, anti-H. pylori and staph infections. Those are H. pylori, huge resistance issues. So if we can add something natural that's going to be helpful for the body, that's going to viruses, we're seeing many, many, many improvements all over the system. So Ganoderma is also a powerful regulator of nitric oxide. So again, here's the reference number that you can put into PubMed ID, a study from just 2018 showing how it regulates nitric oxide in the body. And nitric oxide helps relax our blood vessels. So it really does influence pretty much every system in the body. Nitric oxide influences our nervous system, our digestive system, our lungs, and our brain. So once we're looking at something that's affecting such a critical component of our overall health, we can step back and from a larger lens, see how it's going to benefit many systems in the body. Ganoderma, again, proven scientific literature published, peer-reviewed, that Ganoderma beats drugs for pain relief for rheumatoid arthritis. RA stands for rheumatoid arthritis. And rheumatoid arthritis is, at the root of it, an inflammatory condition and an autoimmune condition, which we've also already shown how this can influence it. So it's going to influence inflammation, like I said, by at least 10 different mechanisms without the side effects of a lot of the chronic non-steroidal anti-inflammatory drugs that are prescription only that most people have to rely on for a condition like RA. So there is an option available that can help these people without the deleterious side effects. Ganoderma has also been dramatically reduces the pain of fibromyalgia. And this study found that in 6 weeks, it could dramatically reduce the pain of fibromyalgia. And there's many mechanisms behind it. One, of course, being inflammation. Inflammation changes how our body receives and sends pain signals. Fibromyalgia, really at the root of it, is an autoimmune condition. A lot of times it is the body affecting the nerves and the muscles. So if we're influencing that, that's why we're seeing such dramatic pain improvement for people who've been suffering with fibromyalgia. Ganoderma also has been proven to lower bad cholesterol while increasing good cholesterol. And we see this over and over again when I recommend people, when people just start taking better care of themselves and start eating better food and getting exercise and getting oxygen into their blood, the cholesterol levels will start to shift. So something like reishi or Ganoderma puts that body in a naturally healing state that's going to allow the body to shift what it's doing with cholesterol. Ganoderma is proven to open airways and to help with allergies and asthma. And there again is the PubMed reference number that you can do further research on that if you wish. With the effect on nitric oxide, it's going to open up the airways, and reducing inflammation obviously is a big factor in that. Ganoderma is also has antidepressant effects, just as good as serotonin, and anti-anxiety effects. GABA is a neurotransmitter in our brain, which relaxes us. So Ganoderma has GABA activity, so it can have an anti-anxiety effect, actually better than some prescription benzodiazepines. Ganoderma also protects the brain. Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, lots of research. This is just one reference to allude to that, but it's affecting many different mechanisms. One, you're getting better oxygen to the brain, which is going to feed every brain cell better. We're reducing inflammation, and there's also studies showing that it actually reduces the amyloid plaques in the brain, which we know are usually very much present in people with Alzheimer's conditions. Ganoderma improves sleep. This is one I've definitely heard people tell me that they report better sleep while they're using Ganoderma. One is they're breathing better, so they're getting more oxygen and they're actually healing. The anti-anxiety effects that we've already mentioned helps people get to sleep and stay asleep longer. And when the body's just in a healing state, it's going to sleep better. So people are going to sleep better and sleeping longer. Ganoderma also, here's another reference that's showing it lowers blood pressure. Again, it's relaxing those blood vessels and influencing inflammation and influencing cholesterol levels is going to help lower blood pressure over time. Ganoderma has been shown that it's really, really good for migraines as well, because it's changing, again, the vasoconstriction of the blood vessels, which is what is triggering migraines for a lot of people. So what's going on with reishi mushroom? So if you've stuck with me this long on the presentation, a lot of people, this is kind of new. Medicinal mushrooms are coming mainstream, not just reishi and Ganoderma, but many other ones as well. And it's really a fascinating field, and some pioneers in the area are doing a lot of work. So there's a gentleman called Paul Stamets, and he has a TED Talk called The 7 Ways Mushrooms Will Save the World. So I do highly recommend. You can find that one on any of the TED Talk platforms to really show the potential that mushrooms have and the way people are starting to use them. So people are catching on, and it's estimated that it's going to be a $50 billion a year industry in the coming years. So this is really, really exciting. And clinically, so many people are using different mushrooms for different conditions. But now we're into the stage where it's a little bit of buyer beware, because supply and demand are very closely linked. So now that the demand for medicinal mushrooms is growing exponentially, supply of it also needs to keep up as well. So I want you to have a little buyer beware and know what you're buying, okay? So I've done a lot of research, and I've come across a company that provides really, really good, high quality organic reishi mushroom. So the organic reishi mushroom that I use looks like this. It's grown in the mountains of China, very rural area, very clean, very pristine, as it was intended to grow. And it is absolutely certified organic. The picture over here on the left doesn't even look like the same being. And if structure and function go together, we can tell, to me, this just looks like a sick mushroom. But because it's grown in a bag under artificial conditions, and if it's grown without any herbicides or pesticides, this can actually be called organic and can be labeled organic. But it looks nothing like it should, right? This is a classic example of having a farm fresh egg and a mass-produced egg from a commercial farm, right? We know there's a difference. We know inherently there's a difference in the quality. So buyer beware of where you're sourcing your Ganoderma from. So health really starts at the cellular level. So what we're feeding ourselves, and that's more than just food. So that's the nutrients, that's stress, that's water. So what we're feeding ourselves, like to that picture of that Ganoderma, we want all that healthful nutrients. We want everything to be in its best, purest state to create healthy cells. When you change structure, you change function. So the reishi mushroom that we know of is amazing. So I'm going to dive into a little bit of a segue here, and we're going to talk about coffee for a minute. So most coffee, if we look on the right here, most coffee dehydrates the body, raises stress levels, raises blood pressure, is acidic, causes jitters. A lot of people get caffeine crashes, and really has no nutritional value. So the company that I have found the best reishi supplement as puts it in coffee for a couple of reasons. So it makes that coffee, it balances the pH level, it provides energy, it oxygenates the body, it boosts the immune system, increases stamina, naturally detoxifies the body, and the Ganoderma has 192 active antioxidants. So if I told you all of that, if I told you that we could have an amazing natural treasure like reishi and put it into a gourmet cup of coffee, would you be open to trying a gourmet cup of coffee, a healthier option, something that you can enjoy every day to improve your sleep, energy, digestion, and potentially more? So why coffee? Why are we putting reishi mushrooms in coffee? Well, the simple fact is coffee is a part of daily life. If you drink coffee, you usually don't miss your day of coffee. 1.6 billion cups of coffee are consumed each and every day. So there's a lot of coffee being drank, and most people who consume it do consume it daily. And most people over the age of 18, about 80% of people have at least occasionally consumed a cup of coffee. But coffee on its own causes a lot of acid reflux for people. As a functional medicine practitioner, coffee is definitely a no-go on several different food lists. So this causes a little bit of conflict for people, because coffee does have beneficial components in it, but someone, again, with an autoimmune condition, coffee's on the no-go list. And I was struggling with my clients coming in who really weren't willing to give up their coffee. They were willing to give up their gluten. They were willing to give up dairy, but the coffee was really, really hard. And this is one of the reasons why coffee has a lot of information of like why maybe it's not good, right? So acid reflux is a big issue for people who consume coffee. So what's the magic, again, of putting reishi in a cup of coffee? So again, coffee on its own is very, very acidic, okay? That's why it's causing the heartburn. It has certain phytochemicals which are beneficial to the body. So this is why there's a lot of going back and forth. Is coffee good for me? Is coffee not good for me, right? Well, we know it's acidic, and we know that is not a healthful state for our bodies to be in. So if we take something acidic like black coffee, and then we add reishi mushrooms, which is one of the most alkaline foods on the planet, we have now created a healing beverage in your morning cup. So that is now gut friendly for many people. So Organogold, again, this is the source of reishi that I recommend. It is a Canadian company. It started over 10 years ago in British Columbia. Head office is pictured there. They're showing that is still the home of world headquarters for the company, and the company is in over 32 countries around the world. So I mentioned sourcing is super, super important. So all our reishi is produced at one of the world's leading Ganoderma facilities in the mountains of China, as I mentioned. Top certification boards all across, very serious about the quality of the product: USDA Organic, EcoCert, Kosher, Halal, and the many other certifications you can see there. So I'm going to just give you a little lesson, first, let's call it, on the mushroom and what it is. So again, reishi mushroom, one of the things that is called is the mushroom of immortality. So if we consider this here, the mushroom, this is what I call the fruiting body. So this is like the actual mushroom part. When the mushroom matures, it releases spores from the underside of the mushroom. And the spores are like the seed. The spores are the progenitor products of the mushroom that are going to go and replicate and produce more mushrooms. And this here, the spores, what they do is they take hold and they start growing, and they first grow what we call mycelium. And mycelium essentially is like the root network of the mushroom. It lays the foundation. And mycelium, the reason I'm showing it here with a bunch of different nature pictures is mycelium is really the digestive system, the nervous system, and the immune system of the forest. It is underneath everything of every natural forest and under most land as well. I'm not sure where that skipped. Okay, so this is the mycelium, and this is another view of the mycelium network of the mushroom. So I'm going to highlight a couple of products here, and I'll explain the differences. So the king coffee here has the spore of the mushroom. So the spore, again, being that seed, it's 70 times more potent in some of the chemicals than the whole mushroom itself, because it has to take that very precious information to make the next generations of mushrooms. So the king is an all organic coffee with organic spores in it. So it's much more potent in the health benefits with the spores being in it, and it's blended with an organic gourmet coffee. All the coffees come in a box, and inside the box are these little sachets. So the sachets are pre-brewed coffee with the dose of either the spores or the Ganoderma in it already ready to go. So it keeps it fresh. We know that you get a specific measured dose of the reishi, and it makes it very portable and very convenient. So what you do with this sachet is you open it up, you add your hot water, and you enjoy a lovely, delicious cup of coffee. So not everyone's a coffee drinker. I get that. So thank you for sticking around if you've been hearing this coffee talk and you don't drink coffee. So another way to enjoy the beautiful health benefits and delicious benefits of the Ganoderma is the company has also put it with a organic green tea, and this organic green tea is lovely. It's very mild. It does not get bitter. If you steep it, I will steep it for 50 minutes. It does not get bitter at all. So the tea is organic and the Ganoderma is organic. So again, this uses the actual mushroom body in that wonderful tea. We can also get the beautiful components of the mushrooms in a capsule. So some people would benefit from taking more Ganoderma, or they just want the benefits of Ganoderma and don't, like you said, not everyone drinks coffee. Not everyone wants to have a cup of tea every day. So we can get it in a capsule form. So mycelium, so again, mycelium is like the root network of the mushroom body. It is like the digestive system, the nervous system, the detox system of the forest. So like it does in nature, our bodies are going to respond to that, right? We are natural beings. We will respond naturally to these beautiful plant chemicals. So the mycelium is harvested from 18-day-old Ganoderma and is grown in the Hui Mountains in China. The Ganoderma lucidium, again, this is the organic mushroom that we have beautiful access to in a convenient capsule form. And then there's also the spore powder. So again, the spores from that mushroom, they have collected into capsules. So this is another buyer beware that I want to share with you. The spores are meant to survive an ice age. They're meant to be eaten by someone, pass through yours or an animal's digestive tract, and then take root. So the spore has a double shell around it. So think of like a really hard coconut. So our bodies can't break this down, and they're very hard to break these shells down, and all the magic of the spores inside. So the Organo company has a patented process to gently break open the spore so that our body has access to the contents without damaging the beautiful phytochemicals. So many other products on the market we've cross-tested, and some of them only have like about a 15% crack rate, where the Organo has about a 98% crack rate. So some people, if you're buying online or buying at other stores, you might find another product, but 15% to 98% difference is huge when we're talking about health promoting products like this. There's other products that you can have access to enjoy the benefits of reishi mushroom and bringing reishi into your daily routine. There are non-caffeinated options such as hot cocoa. So I have a lot of children who will drink the hot cocoa to get the benefits of helping their brain focus and helping with inflammation there and allergies and seizures and everything. So they can have a beautiful hot cocoa in the morning and get the reishi in it as well. There's also weight management shakes, a beautiful DX drink, and XT, which is a pre-workout option. So there's other options as well besides your regular hot beverages like coffee and tea. So I really do thank you for watching this video and letting me share a little bit of my love for reishi mushroom. It is a field of interest and a field of study that really, really excites me. So this was just kind of the tip of the iceberg for you. If you are looking to purchase any of the products like the King or their spore capsules, you can go to the website here at thehealingpowerofnature.myorganogold.com or reach out to me. We can get you more info about some of the products. I hope you've enjoyed, and thank you so much for tuning in to this summit.